Testing, testing. Seeing if this is up and online yet. Oh, it is. Okay, here's the link to it. But yeah, hello everyone. I don't think anyone's in the stream yet, but yeah.
I can confirm I'm seeing the stream. Okay, that should be super helpful for keeping up with the stream and knowing what's actually going on. Oh, we got one viewer, but that's probably me because I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see your Minecraft stream right there. I used to probably do a community thing. That's all stuff community things are good for. Oh, I see you want to do it everyone's thing. That works. Oh, you did it community thing. Oh yeah, I see you delayed on the stream.
Yeah.
I should do it in the chat.
Wow, my keyboard is quite loud on this stream. Hold on. Let me actually grab a spare keyboard I've got to plug that in so it's less clacky. I've got a couple spare ones laying in my room. Give me a minute. Yeah, this one will be better. Give some people some time to join as well. Alright, here's hoping this keyboard should be a little less clacky in the stream audio.
I was like for saying that my internet crashed. It's frozen on my end. But I don't know if you paused the stream.
It's not frozen on my end, so I think it's good. Yeah, the stream is working on my end.
Yep, it's intact.
Hi everyone, sorry for the janky setup. We haven't done a stream in a while, but hi, New Frontier Craft, StationAPI. We're showing off some stuff. Yeah. I see your comment, Crimson. So cool. People are watching. We'll give it a little bit longer to see if anyone else wants to hop in and start watching before we get too deep into like talking about stuff. But yeah, StationAPI, NFC, new version of NFC we've kind of been showing off in the Discord for a bit. I mentioned this offhand in the discussion of the video for the 3.5.0 video. Kind of give an offhand reference to it. So, video. Yeah. All should be good. I'll have the phone up so I can see the stream chat. So if anyone wants to send any messages, ask us any questions, please do. But yeah, I think we should be good to start kind of chatting about what all we're doing today. Yeah, because I figure people can rewind the stream if they want to, and people can rewatch it later. So yeah, Martina, let's give them a tell them about what we're showing off today.
Oh, okay, hello there, it's me, Martina, the other NFC developer who has been here for a while now. First of all, I want to explain why we are even doing the StationAPI pod, because it might be very surprising that a massive total conversion mod like NFC is suddenly getting a port to an API. Well, the reason is that MCP is really starting to showing its age, which is the system we are using right now to mod Minecraft and make NFC possible. And we are currently doing base edits into the game, which sounds nice at first because you can just directly change the game to make it work as you desire. Downside being that eventually becomes hard to keep track of where the game has been changed, and this can cause bugs and mistakes to pile up over time without having a good way to roll back. Of course, Git makes this easier, but NFC is also kind of antiquated and is
I'm being told you're a little bit quiet. Let me see if I can turn you up a little bit.
I kind of interrupted for a second. I kind of disrupted my train of thought. Yeah, I'm a bit quiet, sorry. Oh, I can help with that as well. Let me get my microphone closer. Okay, should be a bit better now.
I also flipped up your user volume a little bit, so hopefully that should be better now.
Okay, testing. Can you hear me better now? Okay, so I think it should be better. What I want to say is that because of the issue, NFC only started getting documents on Git, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. So we don't even know what a lot of this stuff originally was like. But StationAPI already proves a great opportunity to remake and overhaul a bunch of the technical features of NFC, and it is a lot better to have a more robust backbone, which StationAPI provides because it is running on a more modern version of Java. Provides a much better framework for modding because you don't just throw everything into the Minecraft source code. Instead, Minecraft is just a library and mods are loaded through Fabric and then StationAPI, which provides a much more coherent environment. So StationAPI also provides a whole bunch of useful features on its own, such as the ability to easily add custom biomes and even dimensions and change the world height easily. We now have a singular workspace, so we no longer have to worry about client and server upkeep, which was a major hassle, which we thankfully got through in 3.5, but it was incredibly hard and makes the burden of development a lot higher. And let me think what I want to say next. Oh yeah, mod compatibility is vastly better on StationAPI due to the fact that we don't do base edits there, but instead mixins. Mixins mixins are a bit trickier to use than base edits, because you can't just directly edit the code, but rather have to inject into it or do redirections. But it comes with a major benefit of more compatibility, even if the base game is getting alterations through mixins, which also makes StationAPI a very powerful API, despite being limited in that way, and you can't do direct base edits.
Without a doubt. It does make it slightly harder to do certain old tweaks we used to do. We can't quite as easily just like take a hammer to the workspace and bodge it into shape into doing whatever we want. Every bit is a bit more of a process to get things ironed out, but it's a much more efficient and compatible process. Much as akin to, it's a much finer tool. So when you do edits to the workspace, other mods are much more likely to still be able to work with it. In the old version, when we messed with stuff, generally every mod that like touched anything that wasn't API based would just immediately crash and die unless it was specifically modified to be compatible with NFC. So that was kind of the experience you saw with this older build of NFC, which this actually is the newest build I'm working on right now, version 3.5.3. It's got a couple enhancements and quality of life features, like we're adding these couple new played stone variants. Actually, I forgot to compile that build, but anywho, yeah, just like bug fixes and stuff that'll be in this build. So, like I mentioned before, I'll have a video out on version 3.1, 3.5.1, 3.5.1 _01, 3.5.2, and 3.5.3, and I'll talk about what all we've done in all those little mini updates since version 3.5.0. And that'll give some more information about what we've been doing. And I feel like that kind of goes cleanly into what our plans are for the future with NFC and StationAPI NFC. And our main plan kind of is that old MC, pardon me, old NFC will stay around as kind of a legacy build version. So you still be able to access old NFC and play around with it to mess with the old setup of everything, how the old mods and stuff that work better with like Mod Loader Forge. But the Station API port will become our major like developed version, and that'll be where we should develop and push most support once we're fully moved over to it. At the moment, currently, the Station API port's still in its early phases. It's missing a lot of quality of features from mainline NFC. We do have some stuff added, like we've got the tool system ported over, we've got all the ores, we've got a lot of the blocks. But a lot of the like smaller tweaks that NFC makes here and there, we don't have. But a bunch of the bigger things have been ported by Martina and who's the name of the other developer you've been working with?
Ralph202. Major shout out to a developer. They have been massively helping, especially with some of the more annoying tasks, such as the new slab placement logic, which I can elaborate more on in a bit. But they have been majorly helpful and continue providing great code contributions.
There's a little preview that we do have ravine generation working correctly in here, so you've got the NFC ravines working fine. Which is our own custom world gen, it's not just a port from beta 1.8, so that's, I believe, Martina, you coded that from scratch?
Yeah, I made this code. I coded it from scratch and made it as varied as possible so you can get really dangerous, spiky and deep ravines, but also rather wide and round ravines that are also fairly short. And that way you have a lot of different exploration and never know what you get into. And they can actually shapeshift in the process of generation, so they can start off really deep and then come higher up and then become a lot more gentle. They are gonna get improved in StationAPI as well. They're gonna get moved to the terrain stage. Right now they're in the population stage, so the same stage as trees and such and ores. Which also mean that they have to clear out some already generated stuff, which makes them integrate less elegantly. This is going to be improved in StationAPI, where they will be generated in the terrain stage, so they will carve out the stone at first, and then the decorative stuff is going to get generated over them.
Right. So it'll insert itself better into the middle of the world gen process. We could hypothetically actually do this as well with the MCP version. We just didn't, as we are trying to move away in the MCP old version of New Frontier Craft from as big of edits as that would require, because MCP doesn't have that fine-tuned mixin thing. You can kind of do that with like there are some ways to do mix-ins in that older workspace, but it's janky and not worth the hassle without just moving to a newer API. To clarify on what StationAPI is, for anyone not familiar, StationAPI is similar to like what Fabric API is for modern versions. That being, there's the Fabric mod loader, which loads actual mods in, and then there's Fabric API, which is built on top of Fabric Loader, and that is where you actually that's the API you build mods in. Same thing for beta. There's a version of Fabric called Fabric, and Fabric has StationAPI built on top of it, and StationAPI works as a big API that you can code beta mods for. This has been developed by several of the members of Modification Station over the past, how many years now? Like 5? 6?
Let me remember. I think, 5 or 6 years. I remember it being started in 2020. It started with Station Loader and eventually got renamed to StationAPI because it doesn't really do the mod loading process because Fabric is already responsible for that, but it provides a massive API on top of all that.
Yeah.
That's why it got renamed.
Ever since we first heard of it, we have been intending to move NFC to it. Even back in 2020, I was talking pretty openly about wanting us to eventually move the Station Loader, as it was called at the time. And now we're finally actually able to move to it in StationAPI. It's been a while, but we're finally hitting the limits of really what we can conceivably do with standard old workspace stuff. And this is just so much easier to work with in so many ways. It's different. It's a whole different process, so I'm still trying to get familiar with how to code for this. I've been busy with grad school and whatnot, so I haven't had too much time to dedicate myself to helping out and working on it. But I very much am a fan of it and would like to contribute more. And want to be helping out more in the future.
When it comes to that, I have been doing a lot of work. I I've recently been a bit slower due to the fact I'm now properly studying at university, not just being there, but actually putting in the needed work. I can, however, still find time to take care of the sport and gradually get through it, especially on the weekends. Today, I have been releasing a new alpha build, in fact, and 3 bug fixes because it turned out that it doesn't work that well on servers yet, and a lot of bugs need to be fixed, but that's the great part. Now it should work a whole lot better. And there is, in fact, a modding event server running right now in the StationAPI community. It's mostly just closed testing right now because we have already noticed that it's not completely stable. StationAPI multiplayer still is a kind of new endeavor.
We had
But
actually
it's now coming
initially,
along.
yeah, we had initially intended this stream to be us in a multiplayer server showing off the world, but I was having lots of issues trying to get that working. So unfortunately, we just ended up hopping in a single player server. But hypothetically, it should very much aid multiplayer development once we get the kinks ironed out and Station API gets its stuff worked out. Because Station API is still an alpha, so it's still a work in progress. A lot of stuff, but we're helping a lot push for the envelope because NFC is a gigantic mod, so it's definitely it's pushing the envelope on a lot of things of what the API can do and making it a lot more fully featured as it continues development. Also, I just wanted to hold on, I just want to be sure real quick. I just want to be sure that the music I have got on isn't too loud. Let me know if you want me to turn it down at all. I want to be sure it's not hard to hear my voice over it. But yeah, let me know, people in the chat. Also, hello to everyone. I am reading the chat, so if anyone has any questions or anything they want to say, just say it in the chat and I will respond.
Oh, what I want to say is what Vivian already brought up with the point of NFC really pushing the limits of StationAPI. This is also the big reason why we are already starting the port despite StationAPI being on alpha. It is a great way to test if StationAPI even has needed capabilities and has some of the vanilla OR blocks shifted around. Iron requires a higher tier tool now to mine, as NFC slides new tool tiers in between stone and iron. And previously, we just made it so all prior tags got removed from all other blocks, but this also affected modded blocks, so it's not really worth doing as it breaks every single other mod. So right now we had to take a bit of a step back and accept that some vanilla ore blocks are easier to mine than they should be, but overall the tool progression should still be functional. This will hopefully be ironed out in the future. And StationAPI developers have been a bit busy with life as well, so it might take some time, but it will already be possible to play the NFC alpha builds. When it comes to the completeness of a port, we, as I said, currently already have the ores, metals, alloy smelting, tools and armor in it, and it's mostly functional. The majority of the decorative blocks have been added in as well. World generation, at least the natural features, have also been added in the recent alpha build. So these are now working nicely as well. What we still need to do is rework the entire data-driven structure generator, the one Zaucher created I think a decade ago, which is used by some structure files, such as I think some custom underground dungeon shapes and nether dungeons, and also all of the abandoned buildings like water towers that can occasionally be found on this service. They are all data-driven structures. The new system needs to be overhauled entirely, mainly because StationAPI uses a completely different ID system. It doesn't use numeric IDs, it uses, I think, identifiers. And this comes with the benefit of us literally having billions of block IDs to work, which is another huge reason to the StationAPI. They already solved the problem of beta 1.73, which is that it only has 256 block ID slots, and I think 96 of them are already occupied by the vanilla game. So StationAPI makes it a lot easier to make big mod packs, which was a major limitation of this old version in the past. We also still need to add the Blood Wound. That will be a big challenge to implement through mixins, but I'm pretty sure that it will eventually be possible. Maybe StationAPI still needs some adjustments. And we do actually have our development fairly organized. We plan ahead what should be added to each alpha build, what the theme of the alpha build should be, so it is fairly straightforward. We don't have too many cases where we randomly forget to add some features. It is already super effective, and if we get more contributors on board, it will also be helpful to have this entire development plan so they can also keep track, so it's not just in the head of one person doing all of this stuff. And one other huge benefit is the entire StationAPI port source code is freely available. It's open source now because we no longer have to worry about distributing too much Minecraft code, which was a big issue with the MCP version. We couldn't just easily open source the project. I think we used patch files, which only contain the NFC code.
It was a janky process to try to get them public. I tried constructing patch files, but I kept procrastinating on updating them to the proper, most modern version. Once I get version 3.5.3 out, I will get those patch files updated, so you will be able to set up a workspace with the latest version of New Frontier Craft without needing to do decompilation stuff. But the StationAPI port will be much easier. You'll just be able to set up a workspace, open it in IntelliJ, and boop, it'll load up.
Another big benefit of the much more organized workspace is that compiling is far easier. One major issue I at least had was that MCP just kept melting down for some reason, the big things we've done, but NFC still generates nether features on its own without requiring better nether beta, so that is very nice. And there might actually be coming a lot more modding crossovers where mods start complementing each other in more intentional ways. So you have, for example, one example I like to use is Better Than Wolves, where it uses NFC's steel for its steel recipe for a more efficient recipe, so you can benefit from investing into both mods, that sort of stuff. Could be really cool for mod packs. That's what StationAPI is opening up for us.
I'll actually quickly show off a little thing that, where can I get the download for the StationAPI build of the Aether? Martina?
Oh wait, you want to know where the StationAPI build of the Aether is? I think
yes.
I can find it.
Yeah, I would like to show off to the stream what now is possible and very easy with the new port, which is basically you can take any mod you want and just chuck it into the mods folder, and it'll just load right up.
Okay, let me look up. Oh, in the meantime, I can already talk about installing mods. It's now a lot easier because we can now use modrent without issues due to the fact it's just regular fabric mods now. We can just label them as those and easily distribute them on modrent. In fact, NFC's downloads are on modrent, and Aether can be found as well. Only looking it up on modrent. Give me a second. I know who made it. You can find it in the list. There's a lot of Aether projects. Ah, found it. Okay, baby, you should now be able to access the page in the link I provided. I've tested it, and I think this does actually work with NFC. We recently fixed I recently fixed an issue where NFC started having its recipes be messed up due to the way that block and item IDs aren't really reliable to use on StationAPI, but you can use identifiers. You just then have to adapt your code a bit. But then it works seamlessly, and now NFC should be able to work with other bigger mods that might shift around the IDs a lot.
Okay, so let me show you the installation process for installing a mod with StationAPI. You take it from the folder, you put it in the mods folder, and then you open the game. Oh, apparently I'm missing an API for the Aether. That's my own fault. It says it requires an API. That is very easy to add, though. just the same issues you run into trying to set up any sort of modern mod pack. But let's load this up. And we're in. And now, boom, we're in a mod pack with the Aether installed.
What is also possible is that you can just directly download a lot of mods from Prism Launcher, because it allows you to download mods, so you might not even have to leave your launcher, and you can easily update your mods through Prism Launcher. Oh, and as Paulevs, another major member of the StationAPI community, just said, you can in fact use the Prism mod browser, just as I said. So that's a very good.
Yeah, just a nice little preview to all of y'all on what all will be possible with this new version. Basically, anything will be able to just be chucked in. Go to the Aether, and do we have dynamite yet? No, we don't. I wanted to chuck some dynamite around, but 'tis fine.
I mean, you can add some oil to the nether to show that NFC is definitely. I think oil should be possible to place in the Aether.
Let's put some osmium blocks around.
Oh yeah. Osmium in the Aether. A few years ago, this was actually unthinkable. We didn't even think about NFC and Aether ever being in the same Minecraft instance, but now...
That's not quite accurate. I was trying to bodge it together, and I almost got it kind of working, but there was issues with like trying to port over Player API and Shock API, and trying to get them crushed together to work correctly was difficult. But now we don't need to worry about any of that. It just works. Here, I'm gonna hide some messages from the chat because there's some people just posting stuff in the channel for no real reason, and
yeah, unrelated stuff that it's also not really the most polite stuff to post in such a channel. But feel free to ask questions about the StationAPI pod. That's what the chat is very good for.
Absolutely.
And I am reading the chat right now, so I will immediately see when you're writing something. One thing I should mention is that we do plan to make it possible to convert your existing worlds to StationAPI. I think StationAPI already has a test mod which contains a data fixer for converting numeric IDs to identifiers, so we might be able to use that.
Yes.
Or maybe figure out
we will figure out some way to do it, as we fully intend to keep the server working with the newest version. So once we get everything ported over to StationAPI, we are going to move the server over to StationAPI. So you'll be able to load into the server from there and continue playing as you have been for the last, how long has the server been around? I think 2018, so 7 years. You'll be able to play in that 7-year-old world still with the newest version.
Yeah, it would be a great experience. It might, however, take a while. It's possible, or very likely even, that NFC 3.6.0 will have its full release on StationAPI quite a while before the entire data fixing stuff is ready. Yes. But once the NFC is completely stable on StationAPI and we have all the needed replacements for the old server plugins, then we can start working towards converting all the old worlds, because we also need to find out if all the plugins are gonna get good replacements. I think there already is
Definitely.
a factions mod. We should check that out at some point. Oh, I see one of the people brought apparently a very interesting thought, but I don't know how convenient it would be in practice.
Yeah.
Apparently,
It's.
quantum word.
I don't think there's a way to actually accomplish something like that, but I like the thought process. It reminds me of stuff I was saying back when Station API first came around, when I was like, oh, is there a way to bodge together mod loader mods and station loader mods? And the developers were like, Vivian, the fuck you talking about? So,
hey, funnily enough, someone is working on that. There is a mod loader and Badbreak project, so shout out to Catcore for actually working on that. I think it would be pretty cool for some simpler mod loader mods. I think one common example is Buildcraft, that could then be loaded into a StationAPI mod, but I don't know how stable that project is ever gonna be. But I definitely find the experiment interesting, and I will continue looking out for the progress on that project. But the amount of mod loader mod support definitely is very well within the finite range, and I'm not sure if there's really gonna be a lot of extra mod loader mods, because many of them were from 2011, back when this version
right.
actually was the main version.
And a lot of
So you
mod
might
loader
not
mods
really
even
have
like were
a lot
made
of demand.
poorly and required base loader edits as well. So a lot of the even older API mods wouldn't really even be compatible with each other and are likely just to be far easier just to update to Station API. So ideally, this API will continue to be built up more and more over the years as things are done in it. And this will be kind of the base around beta. Obviously competing with other bases like BTA and that whole modding community that's built up around that. And NFC has always been a little bit different from that because we've always tried to target the kind of more vanilla beta side of modding rather than our own custom mods. And now we are very much trying to lean more into that with us joining the whole kind of wider beta modding community as it's now moving more and more to this API. For a while, everyone was mostly on Modeler and Forge still, but with the onset of this new API and the improvements that is brought around, a lot more is possible here that wasn't possible before. For an example, I'm going to be showing you guys off a mod that Martina was working on compatibility for called Better Another Beta. Let me grab this real quick.
That's gonna be exciting. Yeah, that mod is made by Paulix, a very cool mod we have added some built-in compatibility for. They did load on their own before, but we made it actually work more nicely with the OR distribution being more fitting to Better Another Beta. It has a lot more open space, so the OR generation is fast, is more common, and it has been raised up because Better Another Beta is an example of a mod increasing world height. It increases the nether world height to 256 and completely overhauls the terrain generation. Another great feature of it is it also massively optimizes the generation process, so if you install Better Another Beta, you could also play a more optimized version of the nether, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Vivian is loading it up right now.
That's strange.
Here's the fancy StationAPI loading screen.
World got maybe. That's strange. It's kind of froze up the second I hit the single player button. Maybe let me restart again.
Yeah, StationAPI isn't always perfectly stable yet as it is in alpha. A lot of issues there have to be ironed out, but if you're a bit patient, it
let's see if I can. Okay, so it may not have perfect compatibility with the Aether, but that's fine. The portal still is there. But perfect representation of the fact that now there's the Better Another stuff alongside the Aether stuff. So perfect representation of, once again, that much bigger compatibility we have with everything now. We just stick a portal down and show off what's in Another. We also do plan to do a little bit with Another for the just built-in version of Minecraft. Oh, why did I spawn the sky? That's funky.
Oh, that's an issue with better nether beta. If you don't build a proper portal frame, it will just send you to the roof. But you're in creative mode, so you should be able to break down from it and
But
see
yeah,
everything.
behold, better nether beta.
NFC now adds 4 nether biomes as well, which integrate nicely into their nether beta. Better nether beta allows other mods to have their nether biomes be added into the regular biome generation, because StationAPI has a very nice biome API which NFC now uses to generate 4 new nether biomes. Here you see the early iteration of the glowstone biome. It's still super early, but it shows that it's possible, and I think they already look quite cool. This wasn't really easily possible in NFC before.
Oh, that's strange. Is the stream still going for everyone? I'm noticing it seems to be frozen on my end from when I... Oh no, never mind. It's fine. I just reloaded the stream and it seems good. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks fine, might as well. I'm watching the stream as well to read the chat and also know where Vivian actually is, otherwise it would be a bit confusing.
Alright. Showing off the standard nether alongside the new tweaks we've been doing.
As you can see, watercolor is not added in yet, but we do intend to add it in at some point.
Of course, I spawned in the middle of just a cave.
Yeah, oh, there's already some scorched sand, so you're definitely next to one of those fiery mushroom biomes. At the end of the regular nether is quite a downgrade for better than a beta. Especially the netherrack texture. Oh, and here's a fun fact. NFC's ores actually adapt to the netherrack texture. They use an overlay rendering system, which is also possible thanks to StationAPI. So if the nether beta is installed, or if you have a texture pack, the ores are gonna adapt to the correct netherrack texture, which makes them fit in seamlessly. But we still got the same nether ores as always. Gold, ash, uraninite, and onyx. These are the ones we can find.
Give me a second while I try to get us in a better spot in another.
Yeah, this might take a bit of a time if you search through the overworld, because you know having another goes 8 times faster in the overworld. So if you travel the overworld, it's gonna take 8 times longer.
Yep, that has popped me in the same portal and trying to fly around. Up, hold on, I can see an F3 tag over there. That's... nope. Hold on. Maybe... Sorry, this is going a little less intuitive than we hoped. Give me a second and I'll find the proper nether. There we go. Okay, so preview of some of what we've done so far with the StationAPI biomes. You see that fog color is something we did. We've got the little big mushrooms here. This is standard NFC, so this will be just a feature in NFC, built straight in.
You could probably tell that the textures are in an early stage. We do have a texture artist gradually working on improved textures, so
yes,
they will be improved at some point.
It's
right now.
Strange. Let me try to reload it and see if it's... No, it seems to still be moving.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think it's moving.
Everyone do let us know if there is any issues with the stream. I believe. Weird.
Yeah, now it's moving smoothly.
For some reason, it's like I reload the stream on my own end, and that makes it start going again.
Yeah, maybe it's some Linux quirkiness. Who knows? Yeah, this is being streamed on Linux, so that might cause some jankiness. Linux is still not quite perfect, but it's definitely getting better over time. That's for sure.
I'm on Fedora.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the demand for Linux is gonna start growing once Windows 10 reaches its end of support. But that's kind of off topic.
Maybe Here, let me try switching to NVENC video encoding and see if that fixes it, or if it breaks everything.
I will be. I
This
think I
may,
need to reload this.
this may be worse.
I think the stream is defective right now. Oh wait, it's not. It's loading again.
Hold on. I think it's. I'll keep it at its current status. I think we're working. I'm sorry for the technical issues, everyone. This was more intuitive for a few years ago when I was more familiar with running streams and on Windows. It's been a very long time since I last did a live stream, so.
Yep, we're still warming up. This is my first ever timer stream, so the way I present stuff might not be super fluid, just like that right now. I just had a stuttering moment in my thoughts.
Yeah.
But I'm practicing my way there.
The idea of this live stream is just give everyone a brief overview of what we've been working on. Give people more stuff on the channel to be like, hi, we're still developing things. My name is Vivian. There might have been a different person that was in a similar position to me that used a different...
Yeah, sorry for the stream issues. But better than no stream at all. To be fair.
Okay, testing. Hopefully we're back now. Sorry for the stream issues. I tried turning up the bit right now. Let's see if we have better results now. Is anyone still here, even?
We do have 5 viewers, so technically,
yeah. But yeah, is the stream frozen? No, hold on, it's back. We're back. Hi, sorry for the technical issues. I restarted the stream to see if we can get back to stable, so I think we're good now. But yeah, hi, I'm Vivian. This is Martina. I'm a developer. She's a developer too.
Yeah, the stream is currently simulating what it's like to have German internet if you're living at the edge of a city.
Okay, I've restarted it on the lowest quality setting on a different encoder. I hope it's working now. Let's see. Apologies for it being stuttery. This is very frustrating. I thought this would work better. But yeah, hopefully we have stability now. It's definitely some sort of issue because the stream, like, it's also freezing on my end. Like, I'm watching the stream on my phone and I can see it freezing. So I think it is an issue with, like... Okay, we're back, I think. I have fiddled with the settings a bunch. I turned down the resolution to 720p and 30 FPS, and I think the bit rate should be high enough now. I hope this is stable. We'll see. Let's find out together. But I think we're back and we should stay stable this time. But I've said that multiple times now and been incorrect multiple times. So we'll find out together. But yeah, hello. New Frontier Craft, StationAPI. This has nothing to do with... These stability issues have nothing to do with the stream having issues. This is just this is just live stream issues and me having things not configured correctly, I think. But I'm hoping it works now.
Not gonna say anything, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I know my karma. My karma's inverted.
Yeah. But yeah, hello. NFC is ran by trans women.
Yes. Oh, and before you start making rumors about why my accent is that way, I'm German. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Bratwurst, Schnitzel, Jägermeister, whatever stereotypical German word.
I'm just an American. Boring like that.
America. think we have to keep the language family friendly on the stream, because I think YouTube does age restrict and demonetize streams if you're being a bit too Australian, so to speak.
I mean, we're not trying to get monetization off this anywho, but
Yeah, I mean,
having
age
said
restriction is
that,
a bigger worry.
I don't want anyone to. Uh, the YouTube channel is supposed to be like PG-13, so we are going to stay away from more intensive topics.
Yeah, but we're not YouTube kids either.
No, NFC has always been a project for older adults, so people matures, those with maturity. But yeah, one thing we can do is, I think me and Martina, let's hop into the Trusted channel, so anyone that wants to chat about the stream can do so. I feel like that'll be better than the public channel, because the public channel, more likely, will just have people that don't realize what's going on join the channel. But Trusted should be good to restrict it just to people that want to like ask questions or chat with us.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun activity. I got my planned program for the topics done already, so let's move over.
Let's do it.
Okay, now we are getting into the Trusted chat. Well,
We are
not just getting, we're
here.
in there.
So yeah, if anyone wants to chat with us, we're in the VC of the Discord server, which you can find a link to on our website. I linked the Modriv page in the description of this video. You should be able to get to our forums from there and find our Discord from there. So just click through there, and you should be able to find a link to us if you aren't currently in our server. But yeah, we'll be happy to answer any questions if anyone has them. So if anyone wants to chat with us for a little bit, let us know. Also, no pressure, of course. If no one's feeling it or can at the moment, you don't need to. We'll just cry. That's not true. But yeah.
Oh, if you want to stay more updated about NFC, joining the Discord server is a great idea, because I tend to do a lot of announcements whenever something is getting done.
Yes, I have been trying to post stuff on the website as well, but it's hard to get full parity, and I'm literally the only person that even makes an effort to try to get anything on the forums. So it's a little bit spotty, but I will be trying to get everything on multiple platforms, because Discord should not be used for documentation, ever. But that's why I'm trying to set up a wiki eventually, and we will have a full-blown wiki at some point for NFC. We had the starts of one a few years ago, but things fell through and it got like deleted, so we lost access to it. But I do plan to rebuild one from scratch again and have us kind of have a wiki on the internet again. It's better than just like the forum wiki we have at the moment. So here's hoping all works out. It does seem like the stream is much more stable since I fiddled with the settings, so I think we're all good now. So I shouldn't
make things a lot less stressful.
Yeah, obviously I won't speak too much to that, because the second I start rambling like, wow, it's so stable now, that's when it's going to crash again. So we'll see, but yeah. Let's set up a new world to get us back in the overworld. We do have full, one thing that NFC does that we do have poured over is the biome stretching. So NFC does make all the biomes bigger, and the StationAPI port does have that feature poured over. That was a bit of a janky mixin that we had to port over, but it is all working now, so the world is like the proper size of all the biomes and whatnot.
We had a period where we accidentally created new biomes, such as snowy rainforests and snowless tigers, because the snow didn't scale correctly, but I think I got that sorted out. I thoroughly tested by flying further out. Oh, and shout out to Paulus for making BH creative. That's the great part of StationAPI. We don't have to port absolutely everything, because some mods, like creative mode, already exist over there. And I have seen today while playtesting a server, there apparently is a mod to merge half-broken items for a repair bonus, so you don't have to port any of it, which is great.
Although, one thing we do need to do at some point with BH Creative is create a tab for New Frontier Craft. Also, it seems like, because Aether has one, but it seems like, oh, that's interesting. Paulev's, oh yeah, I have better than other. Or beta disabled, why would it pop up? Never mind, I'm an idiot. But no, we need to create a tab for NFC, so it also has its own tab to like show up its items.
We should honestly make multiple tabs, just like the ones for the vanilla blocks, because we have so many tools and armor. It would be so nice to have them in multiple tabs, so it's easier for players to actually use this creative menu.
Absolutely.
That's a great opportunity to make it more enjoyable to use NFC for building. But when it comes to the future, it looks pretty exciting, because NFC can now be used in mod packs, and I'm also developing a Better Than Wolf sport and might add a bunch of crossover content, so you can use it with NFC to have new combinations of things you can do, all sorts of fun stuff. That's definitely something to look out for in the future. I really should get myself a drink. I will be gone for a minute, and to anyone who hasn't been drinking water in a while, please rehydrate yourself. It will avoid a literal headache later on.
Hydrate before you dihydrate. Also, I saw someone give a comment a little bit earlier ago about how my keyboard's kind of loud, and I do apologize for that. This keyboard is not the best in terms of loudness. However, I will say this is my second keyboard, which is a standard one, because my main keyboard is a Unicomp, and it sounds like this. So yeah, it's a good thing I have the secondary one, because that one would make it inaudible, if what I'm trying to say. Oh, nice. If you want to hop in the call, Crimped, just feel free. Obviously, no pressure, though. But it'd be cool to chat for a little bit. If you have any themes you want to chat about or ask for New Frontier Craft. I don't know why I'm enunciating a bunch of syllables all weird. I've had too much social interaction today. I feel like my brain is just starting to short circuit. It's been one of those days. But yeah, remember everyone, hydrate before you dihydrate. Drinking water is good. Energy drinks are not a good replacement for water. Most of the time. Unless you're built different like me, because I can do it, because I'm cool. I really like the Aldi Red Thunder brand, because you can get like, those are pretty cheap compared to like Red Bull, but they taste even like a little better. So, highly recommend those ones if you're looking for an energy drink. Not a sponsor. I do not give a shit if you actually buy them, but like I just personally think they're kind of neat. But buy whatever's cheap in your area.
I have been successfully rehydrated.
Oh, hello.
Your mic is working, Krimzan.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, congratulations on finding your mic.
The microphone.
Yeah, my roommate was borrowing it, so I wasn't sure where it was.
Feel free to ask questions about the stream here.
I didn't have any particular questions. I just wanted to say that I'm really enjoying the project so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
I've seen that you're very passionate when it comes to playing NFC. I've visited your base several times. You have done a great job so far.
Thank you. I have a lot of free time.
I
Can't
feel
say
you
the same
there.
about me.
I used to be that
Well,
way.
no longer is that way. Well, it sometimes is that way. I'm studying computer science now, which, as some of you might know, is incredibly time consuming and incredibly hard. But it feels great to actually get good at this stuff because it's one of my biggest interests. So it just makes sense that I'm also programming out of stuff in my free time. But when I have a semester break and I've successfully passed all exams, then I'm gonna have some great free time. That always feels nice.
Yeah, I feel that. I'll be going to school for library tech pretty soon. So I'll have no more free time.
There we go. Got the stream configured now so y'all can see who's chatting on the side. All fancy and whatnot. I'm so stream pilled.
I have 3 monitors, by the way, so it's actually I can already check this, but it's definitely good for other people who don't have 3 monitors.
That's okay.
I actually had my third on. I currently have a monitor just for Discord. I actually had the third monitor turned on earlier to have a little script for the topics I want to discuss. I finished them all, by the way. So it's more of a free-form question asking and answering round.
Also, to anyone that wasn't here earlier while we were explaining this, just in case anyone's joined since then, this is StationAPI New Frontier Craft. We're still working on the mod. Things are still being developed. We're working on porting everything over to a new API, so it'll be a lot easier to develop in the future. Lots more features, lots more mod compatibility. For example, here's New Frontier Craft items, and here's Aether items just clumped together in the same pack. You'll be able to easily throw together like mod packs and stuff with this. So it'll be far easier to work with all this stuff in the future. So rather than any sort of mod compatibility being really spotty, it'll just be plonk it together and it's like a 95% chance of it working, if not higher. It'll be like a modern mod pack, basically. And interacting with this stuff will be like modern mods. So it won't have the jankiness of beta, other than the built-in jankiness, which will still be perfectly intact.
I actually found a bug this morning, but I think it's related to just the sheer number of StationAPI mods I have installed.
Yeah, I did see you posting about that earlier. I can't verify what's causing that to happen. I don't have too much experience working with StationAPI myself, actually. But yeah, I'm not sure why your sticks are being replaced with, what was it, drinks out of like...
Yeah, I think
mugs.
I have no idea how that happened. I've been working with StationAPI for I think about 4 years now, and I've never seen such shenanigans. Something is getting really malformed over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I went through, I disabled basically every mod, and I enabled them one by one until I found it again. Every single one of them, nothing happened until I enabled the Aether, and then it showed up again. That was the last one I re-added. And then I removed everything except the Aether, the Telstrings, and NFC. And then it didn't show up anymore. So it's a combination of those 3 mods and something else.
That is bafflingly weird. Yeah, that's gotta be some like really complicated like yeah, that's hysterical.
That sounds like the absolute worst kind of bug to encounter. Nothing is throwing an error, and it's super unclear where it's coming from. I think that's what's called... I'm not sure. I think that's what's called a cockroach, when it's just really hard to hunt down and really hard to fix.
Yeah, Ralph coming in the stream just like, hello, what the fuck is that bug? Literally, like, what the fuck is that bug? That is hysterically esoteric. I hope we can. I got nothing with that. I hope the issue resolves itself at some point.
I don't know if
now on.
NFC is to blame for that, but it might be. NFC, I think, has more mixins than block classes at this point. It's getting kind of scuffed.
I don't know. It wasn't doing that with 2.0. So I don't know. Nothing else has changed with my mod list. But it's just a combination of all of them, I think.
I have a guess. I did change something regarding crafting recipes, but I actually fixed an issue where the crafting recipe for the carpentry workstation used numeric block and item IDs, but those get messed up with StationAPI when you have more than 256 block IDs. So
Yeah.
I had to change it to use the identifiers, but it shouldn't have messed up the crafting table. I didn't touch any part of the crafting table code.
Could it maybe be the mod that allows you to shift-click recipes? Ralph suggests. That may, if you have an inventory management mod installed, it could be that's causing that issue.
Yeah, I'll do a bit more. Even with that mod installed, I think that's like, which one was it? Either miscellaneous tweaks or what was the other one? Annoyance fix maybe. I don't know. I'll do a bit more messing around.
Yeah, stop being good at polished off. God, this is one of the worst drinks I've ever had. Not sure I had like a ranch soda once and that was terrible, but this thing is like sour Skittles flavored juice. It's a naturally flavored drink. It was $1. It does taste like someone just distilled off a bunch of sour Skittles into a drink, which is less pleasant an experience than you'd think. This might be a good mixer, actually. Maybe I should add some like tequila to this or something. Maybe not today, but maybe for the future.
Let's keep it safe on this stream. Let's not do any wild experiments. I'm just eating.
I do
some
not
sunflower
verify.
seeds in the background.
To be clear, that was not a endorsement of any sort of recreational drug usage. Whatever I choose to do is my own business, but what others choose to do, we are not recommending anyone to utilize any substance.
I'm not forcing anyone to eat sunflower seeds. They technically aren't addicting, but it's so fun to eat them that you can easily get stuck and hyperfixate on eating them for an hour without even noticing.
We're trying to hold true to what we know Zaljo's policy was regarding this, where he was a bit uncomfortable with pushes into some more like drug usage and stuff like that, and we want to be sure that we're not endorsing recreational usage of those things. Obviously medicinal usage and things like that, but that more is like for marijuana. But anywho, this is a complete tangent. Getting off the subject.
I want to say one last thing. And even for medicinal use, please just consult your local doctor. That's the end of the topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, New Frontier Craft. It's a frontier that crafts your new.
What? What? I mean, kind of, I guess. Well, you could show off the TNT working station API and have it preserve the ores. That's something I worked. It was actually fairly easy.
I didn't know you actually got that working.
I did. It was easy to change the blast resistance of vanilla blocks. Oh, modded ores might have to be adjusted. We do already have a check for a mod called Simple Nether Ores. We can adjust their blast resistance to work better with the TNT mining. Yet TNT mining is highly encouraged in NFC because the ores are kind of far and few in between, but TNT can easily expose a lot of them. there's already some tin ore.
Okay, so yeah, that was a good
that was
representation of it,
being
because, see, ores were kept around like they are in standard NFC, but bigger hole. Now let me fill up this hole with TNT, as is tradition. Blow up a hole, fill the hole you blow up with TNT, and then blow up that hole. Good stress test as well, to make sure StationAPI doesn't break anything related to this. And I've got a pretty powerful machine because I've got like a 4080. So yeah, it should be fine. Actually, hold on. I've got to just grab high fetch.
While Vivian is
Oh no, I got
the
a
hole with
3080.
TNT, while Vivian is spraying the hole with TNT, I would mention that we still do plan an industry update, and I think someone is already working on a proper item logistics API, so we can use some standardized interfaces that make this work nicely with other mods. So we don't have that situation where we have something like Buildcraft and Red Power with their own standalone item logistics that don't interact with each other. You could only do indirect interactions by connecting both with the chest or something. We want to make sure that we have something a lot more elegant on StationAPI.
Yeah, so you'll be able to, yeah. The industrial update is still underway. Version 4.0 is still planned. It's just a case of, the StationAPI port is our main focus at the moment. Explosion. I feel like the explosions aren't quite as big as they are in standard NFC. Because I feel like that was
I think I need to increase them.
Because that did feel far smaller than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I know. I know where I need to inject for that, or rather, do a constant modification, as it's called, with the mixins. Yeah, we have mixins in StationAPI. We don't do direct base as we inject code into the base game, which is far better for mod compatibility. But some mixins are more intrusive than others, so it's best practice to mostly use injections where possible.
Wow, amazing. I can't rescale the fucking window. I hate NVIDIA cards on Linux.
Oh, that's an NVIDIA problem? Oh no, I have an NVIDIA card as well. Oh no, that's gonna be fun when I eventually switch to Linux, which might actually happen once Windows 10 reaches its end of support. Thanks, Microsoft. Huge sarcasm, by the way.
Yeah, I get cinnamon crashes every now and then. Just, I'm pretty sure it's NVIDIA related.
Yeah, I really just need to get an AMD cards on play. I need to get a job first and start paying for medical treatments first, and then I need to spend money I've got aside on that for stuff. Okay, yeah, there's a preview of what an actual NFC explosion looks like. So definitely, they need a boost in the StationAPI version.
Wow, that was a lot with TNT. Yeah, I'm gonna write that into the development plan. We do have a development plan, so it's just super convenient to not forget anything thanks to that plan, even if it takes a bit more writing and organization effort. It's absolutely worth it.
But as you can see from just like me even scrolling through this, there's definitely a bunch of features that are like missing from the new version. Like, there's no pizza yet for the StationAPI, so it's a work in progress. I'll find it out. Also, I don't know why my blocks are rendering inside out of my hand. That's a weird issue. I'm only getting like my end. It's only happening on the StationAPI version too, because like regular one, it's fine. So I don't know. But yeah, we still have many things to polish off with the new version. but a lot of things are underway. We're still working on development, and we should continue to get higher and higher feature parity between the two versions over the coming months. And hopefully, we'll have a full 1.0 release of the StationAPI version in not too super duper long.
Soon, TM.
Yeah, definitely. No promises. Every other time we've ever promised, like, yeah, we'll have it done in X amount of time. 5 years pass, and then finally we're starting the process of getting it done. Hi, Leo. My cat came in my room.
Right now, I'm writing down more tasks. We still need to add dynamite to the station airport. I just wrote that down to future tasks.
Yes, we do. NFC StationAPI 1.0 in 2090. Honestly, it fit the pace we develop things at. But hey, with your help, we can get it by 2080, so...
Yeah, it's open source. You can easily fork it and then make a pull request. And I think the development plan is viewable by everyone, but I still need to check if it's publicly accessible.
To clarify, the person I was telling to help out to make it sooner was Ralph, so... Very much the person that is contributing to NFC at the moment. More than I am, for sure. Although I'm still working on the old version. True that. Next time I do a stream, I should set it up so the actual like chat window appears on screen, so people can actually see like their messages. Yeah.
My goodness, these headphones are uncomfortable. I'm currently wearing headphones for your convenience, so you don't hear things echoing back and forth. But my goodness, they are not comfortable.
Have you considered getting better headphones?
I personally recommend the Maze 99 Classics.
Yes, free advertisement on the stream.
I've heard good things
ones.
about the Maze ones. I'm using a KGK 360 ones myself. They're decent. I mean, they're not the best headphones I've ever worn, and the balancing is a little off, but I've got an audio profile to flatten the curve of them.
I currently have some cheap headphones which do the job, but they're not exactly comfortable. I mean, they're for a low price, so I did have a better set of headphones, but I need to get a new adapter cable for them, because the old one had the aux cord completely break. That's always my arch nemesis with headphones. The aux cord just keeps on breaking. Even my current ones are very unstable, where I have to precisely rotate the aux cord and push the cable to be just right so I can actually hear things. Which I thankfully managed to do before the stream. Oh, and someone will spoil the comment section. At least I have a bunch of time in the grave to enjoy it. I'm sure you're gonna live for longer. And if you want to, you can add trams to NFC.
Add trams to NFC?
Yes. Trams are always fun.
You just leave it to the European to recommend public transit.
Yeah, this is a European project now.
Clearly we need cars and guns. Hamburger. USA. USA.
I should add a feature that generates stroads into the world, so you have a lot of useless cars. Like, oh, and giant parking lots and big box stores.
Honestly, would not be a terrible idea for like an April Fool's update.
Yeah, McDonald's. Like, I'm not sure how happy they would be about having their product placed into a game without any permissions.
We already have oil.
fast food
True that, Ralph. We already have oil.
Yeah.
My next project on the server is to build a Walmart parking lot.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I should build a parking lot on the server as well.
I mean,
Just
the
a
most
massive
American-
parking lot.
the most American thing I've been I've been starting to build is actually a mall right in the center of my faction, but it is an urban mall that is perfectly walkable and doesn't have a parking lot, so
Disgusting.
not even remotely American actually. Yes, I know, it's a multi-layer European mall made of good durable stone that doesn't just decay in 10 years if it's left alone.
Infrastructure
Actually durable.
designed for people. Ugh. Clearly, automobiles should be much more important.
Infrastructure that lasts for more than 40 years. Ugh. Filthy Europeans.
But yeah, I will say one thing about New Frontier Craft in that obviously our creative vision will be different than that of Zauja's, but Zauja did leave the project to me, and I've left the project to other people since, and I very much just am trying to bring about what I've always felt is the strength of the project. And we still have the same tier system that he implemented, the same general way of playing it, and he created a really impressive project, and I'm really happy that he made what he created. And it is wonderful just getting the chance to explore all of this, and I've had a really great time being here these last 7 or so years, just thanks to the work he's done. Zauja's cool. Y'all should check out 1.8.6 if y'all ever want to mess with Zauja's versions of the mod. Also, if you ever want a cursed version of the mod, check out 1.8.1 of NFC. That version is cooked in its balancing.
There's also a version that's cooked in a different way. I think we got a version jokingly named 6.0.0. It's mostly just 3.4.3, I think, but with some new features you can explore in single player, so have fun with that.
Yeah, that
Fried one?
Yeah, that's the deep fried one. It's an April Fool's update.
Yeah, it has a bunch of amazing features. It makes mining more difficult by having blocks that don't get enough light just be replaced by bedrock instead of air, so you actually have to do surface excavation. It realistically simulates cave-in physics now. I can't believe my own words right now. This makes no sense. Oh, there's very funny minecart physics, which can however lag your game and freeze it, so be careful. Oh look, some rare surface gold generation. I just saw it in the NFC world that Vivian is flying around. Of course she would leave the word. Amazing job, Vivian.
Yes, cry about it.
Well. Wait, that sounds American. That's more German.
Ich kann sprechen Deutsch. Mein Deutsch ist sehr gut.
Nein, überhaupt nicht.
Martina leben mein Deutsch.
Nein, ich lieb's überhaupt nicht. Was ist das? Das ist doch kein Deutsch. So welcher Blödsinn.
Ich bin Amerikanerin.
Das stimmt natürlich. Das ist korrekt. Und ich bin Deutsch. Okay, maybe you should switch to English. I think most people just hear gibberish right now.
I'm an American. Is the last thing I said.
Yeah, I just said, yeah, that's true.
Ja. Das ist gut. Ab. I don't know German that well. But yeah.
Oh, speaking of the public transit topic, I already buffed rail recipes in 3.5 massively to really encourage rail building, while also encouraging alloy smelting and actually searching for more ores in NFC to make steel for rails. It all was for this plan to take over NFC with public transit. You're gonna take the train and you are gonna like it.
Indeed. And I'm going to actually be taking the tram in the background while I continue poking around at the StationAPI version. That way you can get a good preview of both like what the server looks like while I also continue to show off StationAPI. Because I got Windows, so I could just pin this to the corner of the screen and show it off. Let me get it on daytime. Set time lock time, and I'll probably forget to turn that off. But let's head out, and I'll set that in the corner of the screen while I continue to mess with StationAPI.
Yeah, I might as well join. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, I finally fixed the bug where the pants got all messed up whenever you were in the minecart. Although I will say, if you ever are running into that issue, you can fix it by putting on and off your boots in versions that it is broken in. I think the StationAPI version actually has that bug because it is a beta bug, and I don't think that.
Yeah, probably has. I don't think anyone has gone out of their way to fix it. Oh, my internet connection is not liking this. Oh my goodness. Wait, what? I'm seeing some very strange things by loading into the world. Yeah, I think my internet is having a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch this movie.
Oh, it seems like it actually is fixed. Huh. Oh, nope, there it goes. So yeah, if it breaks, you can just fix it by taking on and off your boots. So there's that bug, but we do have that fixed over here in standard NFC. That'll probably be a separate mod that we'll just recommend people use to fix. As that's kind of the difference in the two versions. We have old NFC. In this window, we very much are fixing stuff ourselves for the most part. Any sort of fix is something we integrate directly into the mod. Meanwhile, this version very much relies on external bug fixes for the most part, just because that's kind of the nature of these type of mods. So there'll be a base gameplay of NFC, and then there'll be mods that we recommend using alongside NFC that'll help kind of patch up bugs and stuff that the game has. But it won't have all the like bug fixes and quality of life improvements integrated directly into it that standard NFC has. But this version will be packaged into a mod pack that has all those like quality of life tweaks installed. Like for instance, the ears mod, which kind of gives me the extra custom skin customizations here. For standard NFC, it just bundled directly in, so it just loads. But for this version, it does not, and this is a separate mod. But our mod pack will have it bundled in, so you'll just have it there to use, so you won't need to like do extra custom setup yourself. So the end user experience will be roughly the same. You'll install a mod pack or set up a Betacraft instance, and it should just load up all the right stuff. Although I'm unsure if Betacraft has any support for StationAPI. At some point we should poke that developer for help with setting that up, but someday we'll poke butts with that. For now, though, that's very low priority, because we're not yet at a point where it makes sense to distribute NFC StationAPI as a instance. So we just recommend people install their own copy of like the Fabric instance, add StationAPI to the mods folder, and then add NFC to the mods folder. And that'll load it all up for you. So if you want to play with StationAPI, then that's your option. Otherwise, just install the standard instance and you can play old-fashioned NFC, which is a little still more fully featured at the moment, and you can actually play the server on it. But if you do want to play with like the Aether and Air stuff, you will be limited to the StationAPI port. So kind of some comparison points of like where the two versions are at relative to each other. Eventually, this version, the classic version, will be retired fully and just left as like a legacy build that's available for usage, and everything will be fully moved over to Station API. But we're still a while off that. But yeah, as you can see, I am just traveling down the rail line here in the NFC server. We have a lot of these set up around the server. Rail travel's kind of nice. Martina did a lot of tweaks to the rail system over the last few updates of 3.5 that helped make it a lot more smooth to use and upgrade a bunch of the recipes. That wasn't in the original video for 3.5.0 because I don't believe those tweaks were done in that original build, but they were in the various other kind of sub versions after that, as well as a bunch of tweaks and stuff. So that made it so it's a lot cheaper to make rails en masse in NFC than it used to be. So it's a lot easier to make these long rail networks. As you can utilize like steel, you can utilize bronze, brass. There's no cosmetic differences in the blocks, but that's just because it didn't really make sense code-wise to add those extra blocks. But we should probably actually add cosmetic variants to those blocks in StationAPI, as we've got infinite block IDs. You still there, Martina?
Yes, I am in fact there, and I'm listening to it. I'm currently trying to play on the server, and the chunks take, I think, a whole minute to load right now with my internet, but it is technically possible.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the call.
Hey.
Oh yeah, welcome to the call.
Hey. How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Yes, we are going pretty smoothly right now. Streaming after a long time, finally.
Streaming?
Indeed, we are.
Oh, thankfully I can do mining and building just fine with my slow internet connection. I just need to stay within the same area, that it's fine. I is playing NFC with very limited internet right now. That's a fun challenge. That's what they're doing in the background.
It seems the redstone in my base does not like the time being locked.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
I'll unlock the
I
time
think in
then.
newer versions, I did try to mitigate by making the torches not burn out when time is locked, but that's all I've done so far.
Yeah, the front door for my base was freaking out a bit.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing that might happen.
So there's sort of stream?
We are streaming right now. We're on the
Yeah.
NFC YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yes, and I'm answering questions in search and explaining thingies.
We're showcasing the new Station API build of NFC and showing off kind of comparison points with the old version versus the new version, why we're building the new version, and so on and so forth.
Oh, okay. Well, I have no idea about that, so...
It's basically the
ask
same as
questions.
existing NFC. It's built on a new base that'll be way more compatible with other stuff and way easier to develop for in the long term.
Okay.
But it's still on beta, so no like changes to like having to like patch out the Hunger system to a newer version or anything like that. It is still just beta.
Wait, so... Because of my ignorance, I'm like the voice of the people.
You are.
Except the problem is I'm probably even more ignorant than the people watching. Because it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since I checked on the old NFC. But I you know, I finished college, so
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
yeah, I did it. I'm free, sort of
That's-
free to Work hard.
Free to join the workforce and slave away the rest of your life at that.
Yeah.
Yay!
I'm eating a
USA. But yeah.
beefsteak teriyaki Jack Links thing
That sounds really good.
because I was supposed to go on a hike today, but I didn't wake up in enough time.
Say hi, Leo.
Leo is Vivian's cat.
Yes, he is. He is.
Hi, Leo.
Oh, he's meowing like crazy right now. He really is meowing.
He truly is.
Oh shit, I have to get going actually.
Alright, well, it was lovely having you
see
on
you
the call
later.
for a bit. Have a nice day.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye-bye. It's because I'm
Funniest-
here, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone hates you. No, yeah.
Funniest part is the railroad is still going in the background. If anyone is looking at Vivian's game, it's still going. That's how long the railroad is. A lot of effort has been put into that. Yeah, we had a lot of free time. You can probably tell.
Wait, can people hear my chewing? Should I... Hold on.
A bit. Yeah.
Wait, can people hear me snack away at sunflower seeds? I hope not. That's
Let me
the
turn
last
on
thing to do.
crisp. That should maybe help.
Surprisingly, it doesn't. I can still hear you chewing.
What? Okay.
Actually,
here, let me-
no, that's not you. That's Martina.
I'm not eating anything right now. I stopped chewing sunflower
Wait,
seeds.
let me... Input sensitivity, automatic. Let's put that. Let's try that out.
I'm not eating sunflower seeds right now, I swear.
Okay, I don't hear anything anymore. Maybe I was imagining it for a second there.
Yeah, maybe you were.
Well, it's definitely not capturing it now until I talk.
I'm crazy.
Maybe you ate too many of those blue mushrooms in NFC.
You get how it is.
So I'm currently just excavating a tunnel.
So... Okay, so Station API.
It's an API of the station.
Yes.
Very
true.
informative.
So, have you ever heard of Fabric?
Mhm.
It's Fabric. Hold on. To clarify, have you ever heard of Fabric, the Minecraft mod loader?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Fabric, but for beta.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is I can play all of my modern Fabric mods on NFC now, right? That's what you're saying?
So-
No, unfortunately not. It's
But
not that.
surprisingly, that is less inaccurate than you would think. It does make it
Right.
far easier to port modern Fabric mods to NFC to work with Station
That's
API.
true though, that's very true.
Because, yeah, a lot of the API stuff is the same as it is in newer versions. So literally, you can port it to the Station API workspace, rewrite how some bits of it work, and it'll load up. And you can utilize it alongside
Wow.
everything else.
I thought I was being moronic, but thankfully I was actually onto
Oh, you
something.
weren't.
You were on
I was
something.
being moronic if anything.
Ralph said it best in the stream chat. If you port it first, you can play them. And that goes really for any mod in regards to Station API at the moment.
Thank
There's
you,
a-
Ralph.
There's already been a good amount of ports already done. The Aether is playable on here. Better Than Wolves is playable on here. There's a couple different mods for the Nether. And all of those can just be utilized alongside NFC in this version without any extra fuss or hassle. Just click them together in the same mod pack and they just load up.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Was it, okay, I might be remembering wrong. Did NFC integrate Forge?
Yes, it did.
forget.
standard NFC does have Forge integrated. So the version out here in the bottom window for the stream does have Forge integrated, which is why I've got this thing called How Many Items, which loads up and has all these different items you can see on the screen.
Wait, you guys have done something amazing. You've made Forge work with Fabric.
No. So that's the core thing here. The old version will be stuck on Forge mod loader. The new version will be on Fabric. So it'll be much like the same dichotomy that exists in the newer versions, where you tend to have a mod that's built for one or the other. We are going to be in that same boat. We're moving.
Yeah, we're embracing it.
Yeah. So old NFC will stay around. We're going to do like one final polishing update to it with version 3.5.3, and that'll be like the last major update. There may be some bug fix updates after that, but that'll be the last like feature update that's done for NFC. And
I would totally play modded Minecraft more these days if they could figure that out. The fact that it's so confusing to like make a mod pack now because you have to make sure, oh, it's for this mod loader, not that mod loader,
Right.
it's for Fabric. Oh, I can't use that with this because it's Forge, or vice versa. You know, it's a pain.
Yeah,
So
I
usually
think that's also NeoForge now, so it's even worse.
Okay, what? I'm very out of the loop when it comes to Minecraft modding.
oh yeah, Forge broke apart as well. I believe there was something to do with Lex Manos and drama
Yes,
around.
Lex Manos being insufferable, I think.
Yeah, the Forge community got so frustrated about the situation that it literally splintered in half. So
Yeah. Lex was sabotaging compatibility with Fabric, so they get sick of that.
So now there are two versions of Forge.
Great, that's even more confusing. Yay!
Yep. Let me pull up the XCD comments.
Let's just start over and wait. We are once again introducing another standard, just a different version. Amazing. We're making it even worse.
Well, Ralph here is saying that NeoForge replaces Forge.
I mean, that is
People
true.
actually still use Forge for some reason.
But I do think that NeoForge does, like, it's built on Forge, so you can use old Forge mods with NeoForge.
Yeah,
And
probably.
moving forward, I don't think Forge is going to continue to be developed that much more, so NeoForge will eventually replace it. It's just we're in an awkward spot at the moment where both kind of exist at the same time.
Okay.
But
you can just use NeoForge.
Yeah. So that was a misunderstanding of mine. Thank you for correcting me, Ralph.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, the standard
less
comic.
bad than I thought it was.
Yeah, the standard comic in the corner of the screen kind of best encapsulates the experience of what we're going through. It's like these two mods of these two versions of NFC are two different standards entirely, and they are not compatible with each other. There is no way to get anything from this old version working with this new version without substantial work.
Yeah.
The new version will be
Yeah.
much better and much more compatible with more stuff just naturally, but it is a completely distinct, non-compatible version of the game.
I should
So
note,
you
by
can
the
play
way,
on the same servers or anything.
No,
the
you cannot.
railroad in the background is not even a looped video. It's just that long. It's still going. It's
Yeah, this is just me.
extremely-
Like, I am just playing this actively and just going through the rail line
I
down
think
here.
Vivian built most of this. I think most of this was built by Vivian, though. I did start building another section at some point. It's about the end of my section is pretty clear, though. It's right at an old base of another faction. That's where I ended that project. And Vivian also went as far as double tracking this section, which is very impressive.
I was very bored, and
Definitely. This was single track. Most railroads are still single track because they just don't have that many players right now that would demand a double track network. But it's always possible to upgrade.
sometimes you just get a bit of depression and you need to build a massive rail network across the entirety of a Minecraft server.
You're the right you're here in the stream with the right person to talk about that. I built a giant rail network faction. You should honestly drive towards that. I think you technically are right now.
Yeah, I am.
Oh. I think I'm seeing a railway station in the stream. I think it's approaching. Yep, that was one of my torches.
Yep.
Oh, you're on the section I built. Oh, that's Sheploon.
I'm not
That's a
going to
fun
show off
place.
Sheploon in this stream because that's a lot to get through that area, but
Yeah, it's
Please.
extremely dense.
someday I want to actually record a video showing off that and post it
I
on this
built this
channel.
station. It was fun to build this little train station. Wait, it's partially griefed. I should go fix that at some point.
We do intend to start releasing more videos on the channel again in the near-ish future. Because, yeah, it's been a long time since we last were really releasing videos, and I would like to start having us do that more often again.
Yeah. We got Vivian back in service, so now it's feasible.
Yes,
I don't have a lot of video production skills. I would first have to get into it, but I'm already busy with university and figuring out computer science.
Yeah, I stopped helping out with the videos for a long while because I hated my voice, and I was like, but now I'm fine with my voice again. I've worked on it, and I'm back in business for videos.
Very good.
Very good.
I look
Yeah,
upon
Vivian
this
is
and I
currently
declare very good.
Hell
What are
yeah.
you saying?
I think Project Restoration was a Zauja thing.
It was, yeah.
Zauja.
Oh, here it's single tracked. That's where Vivian's Big Depression Railroad is over. That's where the older network begins.
Also, here's
Okay.
my first base in the server I built back in like 2018.
I'm done.
Yes. Oh.
I'm done eating, so I can turn this off. I just don't like noise suppression that much if I don't have background noise.
That is very valid. I tend to keep it on because elsewise my keyboard can be a bit deafening to people, especially because most of the time I'm typing on my Unicomp keyboard, which
Oh my goodness. I tend to hammer on my keyboard by a lot, but it's a membrane keyboard, so it isn't that loud. Downside, it's a membrane keyboard.
And the funniest part about that is that the Buckley's very one, like, I'm not even like pressing down hard on the keys at all for that. That's just me typing normally. I grabbed a membrane keyboard I had sitting around on my bed to do this stream with, because otherwise y'all would be deaf right now from the volume.
I have an Amiga 1000 keyboard right here,
Ooh.
Let me check what my keyboard is.
and
I think it has a label. Yep, it does have a description.
Only
I have to turn it upside down.
Amiga makes it
It's,
possible.
It's a Logitech G213, that's what it is.
Only
Prodigy gaming
Amiga
keyboard, god damn it, such a gamer
makes it
keyboard. And I'm not even
happen.
that much of a gamer. Yeah, my PC looks so much like a gaming PC, but in fact I'm not a hardcore gamer, I just play Minecraft and mod it. I'm not, although, does that make me a hardcore gamer? I think only the fewest people actually play this sort of Minecraft version and mod it as well. So I'm hardcore gaming.
I wanted Ralph just said on the stream that the keyboard they bought is from a store that sells soap and beauty products. Honestly,
does it smell good?
Mood. Does it smell good? That is the question. Does your keyboard smell good?
Let me check mine. It smells kind of like rubber.
How does this membrane
To be
keyboard
expected, to be
smell?
honest. The membrane is probably
Plastic.
better. Oh, Vivian is traveling on one
Unicomp.
of the newer rail lines now. That's a more modern rail line. I remember
Thicker.
it being constructed. It was constructed because of my faction suddenly causing
Not
demand for it.
anymore.
Although, funnily
Wait,
enough,
that rail line
this,
is kind of old as well. That's from 2021, I think.
I did build like the rail line is newer, but the original track running out this direction was built in like 2019, I think, by me, because I was just like, I want to build there was nothing out here in this direction when I built this. I was just like, I want to build off into the middle of nowhere. And then everyone just started being like, oh, that's cool. And then they started building their bases around off that rail.
You can see a lot
Friendly.
of development. Oh, the base you're passing by is far more recent. That's a very recent base. That's Kitty Clan.
Yeah. I won't show it off because, once again, don't want to get too deep into the weeds. There's endless way. I'll spend infinity exploring them, but
It's I kind of hate the fact that 2019 was 6 years ago.
Yeah, I feel old now. Old
That's
Yeah,
Instinct
crazy.
Craft.
I also dislike that. I feel like, no, 2019, that's like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait, no. Wait, we are halfway through the 2020s. Oh, please help. I'm feeling old now. We are halfway through. We're getting
Yeah.
real close to 2030.
uh,
I
someone
hate
just
that thought.
someone just noticed that I've got my temperatures in the upper right hand corner of my screen. I've got the PC temperatures in Celsius and the outdoor temperature in Fahrenheit. Uh, I have them that way because those are the correct ways to measure those two kinds of temperatures.
Vivian, what is wrong with you?
Look,
Just use Celsius for
the
both.
the outside is in Fahrenheit and the inside is in Celsius. Everyone knows this.
Wait.
No!
Wait.
I have
Wait. Wait.
everything in
Wait. Wait.
Celsius.
Hold up. Let's back that up. Wait. So, are you saying that you measure like the inside of your house in Celsius?
No, I mean just like
Okay.
if it's regarding like human temperatures are in Fahrenheit, but other thing temperatures are in Celsius,
I kind of agree. I kind of agree.
except for cooking. That's in Fahrenheit as
Yeah.
well. It should be in
Right.
Celsius, but nothing here is in Celsius for that, and it's too annoying to try to convert to
I think
Celsius.
I think they're better for. Well, I forget. You know what? I don't care. Whatever. I was gonna say something, and then I realized I don't care. I actually don't care at all.
Don't
Like,
get
just
this
use the
out
units
of
you want.
ratio.
I don't know.
That is objectively the best take, yes.
Just whatever
Who-
makes
no-
sense to you. I
Nobody
guess.
cares. Use the one that you like. It doesn't matter if you're. Just use whatever the standard is for wherever you are.
Okay, I'm gonna start measuring in caterpillar skin
Okay.
cells.
Go
Gotta
ahead.
put
There's
skin
nothing
cells.
stopping you.
Okay,
The only
this
thing
is
that
a
you
lot
might,
longer
only
way.
problem you might run into is if nobody else uses that measuring system, then you won't be able to communicate it. But I mean,
yeah,
you
no
know,
one's gonna understand caterpillar skin cells as a measurement. I don't know how big one is. Probably a few micrometers. I'm gonna study into biology in the coming semester. That's gonna be fun.
um,
Yeah, I'm such a nerd. I actually study at university.
Nerd.
I'm such a nerd that I finished university. Can you believe that? Wow.
Nerd.
Congrats.
Turbo nerd.
Can I just loop that back around to my success and make this about me? Thank you.
Yeah, you're.
Um,
I love making things about myself. It's so fun.
Yeah.
People
After
have a problem
all-
with that have a skill issue. They're just envious.
After all, you know, from my point of view, I'm the only consciousness that exists. So if you think about it.
Wow, you're getting super philosophical.
Wow.
Amazing. Sheesh.
Egocentrism, or
Okay, Descartes.
I sometimes think, therefore I
ethical
might be.
egoism.
I think, therefore I am. Well, I don't think, therefore I'm not.
I'm friendly to others because it's useful for me. That's very egotistical. I have to admit that's actually how my mind functions, but it works, so...
I do not
It's a bit-
exist. I am a figment
pain-
of the collective imagination.
We are just the dream of a dead universe, really.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's infinitely many times more likely
Nuh-uh.
than us being an actual universe. We are the fabrication of a Boltzmann brain, deal with it.
Nuh-uh.
We actually don't know if that's fully true, though.
Nuh-uh.
Prove it.
Prove it, well, that's unprovable, I'm sorry.
If it is not testable by experiment, it is not worth exploring at all.
Wait, okay, I'm not sure if I should bring this up, but...
What was it? Who
I'm
was
just
that?
saying I'm agnostic.
Newton was Newton's laser sword. I learned that in a Vsauce video.
I'm pescatarian.
Mm. Well, you know,
Oh.
Never
Where are
mind.
you going, Vivian? Where are you traveling on those railroads? Oh, that's scuffed. Why did you not understand how to use a rail switch?
I tried it and then it got stuck, and I was like, "This is annoying."
I mean, I'm pretty sure I
I should
watched.
overhaul that station. That station is so jank and terrible. It needs an overhaul. Oh, that was my first rail line bit. Hey, Boonchase, I think you helped me build that thing. Thank you for that.
Okay. You're welcome. I don't remember that at all, but I'll take the
I think you
credit.
did. Sonic Tank also helped me with that. That was another player I played some time ago. Ah, this railroad. It has become
I
one of my
remember
core
digging
memories.
out some tunnels at one point.
Yeah, maybe you did actually. I fondly remember building this railroad. It was the first, and now it's connected to everything. Now I can go to Vivian's base if I want.
Hold on, everyone. I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Minute timer starting now.
Thank you, Spoon Chase. Your work is very important.
Um, well, actually, it hasn't started because I have had to open the app. So I'm gonna just, for courtesy, I'll start it now. So they get a little bit of um, a little bit of leeway, a little bit of leeway.
Sure. I've just been digging a tunnel these last few minutes. Oh no, it's 0:30 in the morning. Ah, German time zone.
Oh, what the? Come on, 0:30. Get out of here.
No, I'm gonna use 24 hour time even more aggressively.
Get out of here
I'm
with
not saying it's
that.
17 oh, it's
You know what I said
17:04.
earlier about
Pope,
use the
Pope,
measurements
Pope.
that you stand? Forget that. That's stupid. 24-hour time. I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong.
I'm gonna turn your AM into a PM if you continue speaking like that, and I don't even know what that means.
I'm
I'm
kidding,
gonna
by the
change your
way. It
pronouns to was
matters
were.
still.
Your pronouns are gonna become was were. Was
My
were you
what?
forever.
That's funny. I like that. I'm writing that down. Um, proceeds to not write it down. By the way, it's been over a minute.
Yeah, Vivian also stopped at the next train station, which is my mining outpost.
Been over a minute.
Yeah, what's going on there? Vivian, filthy liar.
I'm tapping
Americans
my
always
watch. You
lying.
can't see me, but I'm tapping my watch.
Yeah, go continue tapping.
Approaching 2 minutes actually. Okay.
Damn.
2 whole minutes, and that's not including the leeway too. So more than minutes, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe
So,
Vivian is just measuring in Venus time. Venus spins extremely slowly.
mm, that
So a
could
minute
be.
right there.
Well,
A minute right there might be very long. So she's fine.
yeah, yeah. Venus. Do you think Venus ever what? Didn't they say that Venus had liquid water at one point, or am I crazy?
It might have actually. That's very possible. It's just that solar radiation kind of wrecked the atmosphere. The only reason
Yeah.
Earth is not completely cooked right now is because we have a magnetosphere, thanks to the fact that Earth has a lot
Mm-hmm.
of uranium in its core, which keeps the entire thing hot and the
Iron.
magnetosphere up and running.
Well,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
iron
No,
as
you're
well.
right. You're right. You're right. Uranium keeps it
Iron
hot.
is important for the magnetization, but uranium keeps it all nice
Yeah,
and
yeah,
hot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You are correct. You are correct.
Although iron is very important in the process as well, because that's the actual magnet material.
Hmm. I thought you were gonna say that it gives the magnetic field, and I was like, no.
Uh,
But
Uranium just heats it all up. Uranium is a hot, shiny magic rock that we can use to make very advanced water cookers. Yeah, nuclear reactors aren't actually that complicated. They're just water cookers.
I can't believe we literally found like the magic ore that would like give us infinite energy, and we just decided too scary.
Well, it's also kind of expensive to do compared to renewable energy, and waste disposal still is a problem.
Yeah, but we could also use like better ones like thorium.
Yeah, true. I think research is actually being done into that direction. It's just not ready yet. Kinda hard to use thorium for
I
whatever
mean, haven't we
reason.
made thorium? We've made a thorium reactor before.
Hello, I have returned.
But it was a very sketchy.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
welcome
talking
back.
about nuclear power.
Yeah. We started
We
talking
got
about.
bored.
We started talking. You took. Let's see. You took like 4.5 minutes. So that's not a minute.
Well, nuh-uh.
Just pointing that out.
Nuh-uh.
And in the meantime, we got so bored and insane. We actually went entirely insane from boredom, and then we became so insane we became sane again. And so we started talking about nuclear power. But you missed the part before that where we talked about the Earth's magnetic field being created by the liquid iron core that it has, which is kept superheated by the uranium decaying.
That's true.
But we got to that because we were like, didn't Venus have liquid water at one point or something? And so that's what you
I
missed.
remember how we got there, because I said, Venus is
yeah.
probably still on time if we measure in Venus time.
Yeah.
Oh, and welcome to my faction, Vivian. You're actually very close to me now. Yeah, this switch is very confusing. It's a four-way switch. I botched together 2 3-way switches to make it a thing. Oh yeah, I'm inside the mall. I'm digging a tunnel to make more mall for the mall. Mall for the mall, man.
Straight up mall maxing.
Yeah, it's building an actual good urban mall. Not that American cardboard junk. Where are you going? You're not going to my main station.
Maybe you should lay your base out better.
Hey, it's all labeled. You're just
Classic
not reading it.
engineer. See, engineers aren't designers, so they don't understand.
Hey, I understand my RAM, but flawlessly. I have it all memorized.
Engineers are like, it works. Look, it works.
so what
You can
then?
see, it clearly works.
Look, if you just use it in the exact correct way, which only I know, then it works fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. What it's like to use my RAM. I just know how it works. It's just an extension of my brain. That's how easy it is. Nothing tricky about that. Are you seriously went to buy the RAM station? You're going the wrong way again, Vivian.
Again,
Vivian, you're
see,
just
that's a
messing up on
design issue.
purpose.
That's not Vivian's fault. This is a design issue.
You keep getting this wronger.
Design issue. You need to start studying human-centered design.
Ralph just told me I'm using it wrong. Clearly,
Wait, are you
you're just
planning-
instructing me how to use it incorrectly.
Are you
Look, if you
intentionally
just
going the
read
wrong
this
way?
200-page manual on how to use it, and
No.
you follow it to a T,
Yeah,
then
if
you should be able.
Yeah, you
should be able to use.
you just need to read the man pages, compile it yourself with the right runtime libraries that you can only run on a PowerPC computer, and it's easy. Come on, what's wrong with you?
Vivian, that's how it feels like when you explain me how to make MCP work on my computer.
Yeah, it's
Honestly,
accurate. That is pretty accurate to MCP.
These are garbage,
user interface
honestly.
was actually like a bad idea because think about it, like took so many like the.
Vivian, where
so much
are
fun
you
at the computing.
going?
I just run the MCP scripts using Wine on my Linux machine, and somehow it still works. I'm gonna question it. I don't know why it's still working, but I'm just taking it.
Vivian, you're driving towards a dead end. Please stop doing that.
Well,
The end is
maybe
dying.
you should label your fucking tracks better.
They are all labeled. All of them are labeled. You just missed the main station. You went right through it.
Don't care, didn't ask, you're bald.
Whoa.
Whoa, Vivian, you think that's okay to say? I have lots of hair on my head.
That is true. You're just carrying yourself with bald energy right now.
Did you
Well,
still
but
just
binging with
copy,
Babish.
I apologize to anyone watching this that may be bald. I mean nothing harmful against bald people.
It's a dumb inside joke from the modification station community. That's what it is. But it is funny.
Oh, you're right, it
not
was.
towards actual bald people. Yeah, Vivian, you're just copying another personal modification station right now. It's so weird to hear this from you.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Where are you going? You're going into nowhere. This line isn't finished yet.
Well, it connects out here and it keeps going, so I'm just gonna keep going down it.
Well, you can walk on foot until you reach another line. It's gonna take absolutely forever because the gap is gigantic.
Well,
Vivian, you are such a sodding tic-tac, to quote the bottom gear video that I enjoy watching a lot.
clearly
Welcome to
you
Ball Gear.
clearly you're just a misogynist. That's what this is.
Sodding tic-tac isn't gender specific.
No, because you're hating on me for minecarting incorrectly, and yeah, clearly just like
Hey, you can't mansplain on me, I'm trans. You can't accuse me of mansplaining. You can't do that, it's impossible.
Actually.
I'm a trans woman, you're trans femme, so actually,
True, you're more woman than me. A lot more woman, I think.
Actually, let me, a straight white man, explain this to you.
God, that's the most stupid thing I've heard in a while.
Clearly you don't know what mansplaining is. Let me explain.
Jesus Christ.
You have to say, you have to say, let me mansplain. That is accurate.
Showing by demonstration.
I'm demonstrating so hard right now. Only Vivian could actually use a rail network.
I should say teaching by demonstration, I suppose.
I mean, this rail is still going, so I'm not sure exactly how I'm using it incorrectly.
It's gonna end at some point. You're running into a dead end. It's not alive. The end is not alive yet. You're actually pretty close to the end.
So
Yeah,
the
there's a massive
rail
glitch.
are carrying
And
the
after that bridge,
minecart.
it ends very soon.
Okay, I think that checks the boxes. I think it's working. The rail
Oh
and
yeah,
the
I remember
minecart.
building that bridge.
Yeah, they're touching, and yep, Vivian's going forward. Okay, yeah, I think it's working.
Yeah,
It is now.
Vivian really is mind counting it right now. Outing us to a whole new era of Minecraft. A new adventure on old Minecraft.
Minecart.
Don't mind me while I
I
just
keep-
go in the aether in the top part of the stream, while the bottom part just continue on.
And
That's
Vivian,
true.
it's almost over, by the way. You're so close to the end. It's so over. That's the end. That's it. That bird shack is where it ends right now.
Man,
Very
good thing these
anticlimactic.
stations are bi-directional.
Well,
Long. Just drop into nowhere.
Well,
how long do
you
I...
need to
end of the line.
Is it a straight line from here, or is it some other
No,
direction?
you need to turn left. Then you reach the warp 4 line, which leads to your base. But what are you even doing? Just go back to the relay and come back to me. I'm gonna teleport you to me. This is a threat.
No.
Slash TP deny.
Ah, take
Oh.
that.
Wow, didn't even give the option.
No? Okay, I'm gonna hack it. I have to hack into the NFC server to re-OP myself.
How are you gonna? Oh, you're gonna pop Bob your way back in? Okay.
No! You monster. No!
Okay, I unbanned you if we have to.
Yeah, I fixed your navigation skill issue.
Someone just asked a question in the chat. If I'm getting this right, is the Station API version of NFC going to be the new main version? Yes.
Yes.
It will be the new main version eventually. For now, it's still in development, so we're not moving over fully to it yet. But yes, it is going to be the main version we're developing new features for, and any future content will be developed for it, not the old version of NFC.
But I like Forge.
Cry.
Cry about it, Cope, see, mauled.
What about Industrial Craft?
Is there a main reason why it's being
bad.
moved? It's being moved because the old code base is a bit jank to work with. MCP is a good base. It does a fine job, but compatibility is difficult to make. The APIs, we could aim even more firmly into trying to get more compatibility of Forge and Modlator mods. But there's limitations to a lot of those mods, and a lot of the modding community is moving over to StationAPI. So we figure that it's easier in the long term to move us over there. Plus, StationAPI also has additional things that help with development, like anything coded for StationAPI will automatically work with both the server and the client. So we don't need to make separate versions of the mod, which will speed up development time a lot, because one of the biggest things that slows us down with development is getting the feature parity between the server and client. So that'll help a lot with just developing the game faster. But yeah, TLDR, what Ralph said, StationAPI is easier to develop for, and compatibility with other mods is way better. Hence why in this top stream I'm flying around the Nether, and also this has the Aether, fuck you, and I also have NFC, because here's an Emerald Hoe.
How dare you
And-
misspeak?
And an egg. Behold an egg.
That's a hole. You are holding a hole.
Wait, but so does Station
Bouncy
API
egg.
have Industrial Craft?
Nobody's gonna get a rip-off of that, mainly because of copyright. Industrial Craft has, let's just say, not good copyright.
So this change means no Industrial Craft.
But something similar. It will probably come with a texture pack and will function pretty much like Industrial Craft. Hey, the original Industrial Craft is kind of jank. Don't get too attached to it. Get detached from it. That's my advice.
Oh,
Ah yes, Vivian bouncing with
yeah,
the
just
eggs.
detach.
Emotionally detach. No more nostalgia, no more being sentimental. The future is now, old man.
Yeah, just detach.
I'm kidding. Of course. You are allowed to be nostalgic.
Nuh-uh. Nostalgia
No
band.
way.
No way. That's no good.
Ooh, don't want it.
Legally distinct industrial craft. Real. Also, I don't even know how they got away with porting the Aether, because I'm pretty sure that like you're not supposed to reuse the assets of this.
Man, old mods are crazy with their legal side.
Oh, I didn't even realize you de-opt me on the server.
I still could ban you. I think I would actually have to hack into the main server to ban you.
No, you just need
Just
to
on the
also remove my the server rank, because I've got I forget what the plugin's called.
What's the command to
Administrator.
remove the? Oh, wait. Menu add is adding, but what is the removal command? Menu del?
Why would I tell you that?
Yeah.
But yes.
Wait, am I an admin right now?
I gave you back the administrator link. So many old mods, it's pretty much impossible to even contact the creator. That is very true. For the Aether, it is still possible to contact the creator, last time I checked, as they're still active with the project. I forget who exactly it was, but I used to be kind of involved in the Aether 2 community. Not very involved, though. I was 16 and stupid.
I'm legally distinct from Industrial Craft.
The biggest thing I do recall is that Jelly Squid was there, who later went on to develop Sodium.
I think I should be put in the game because I'm also legally distinct from Industrial Craft. Think about this.
Jelly Squid had a cool persona. It was a deer back then.
Wait, that person had a persona.
Jelly Squid. Wait, Jelly Squid was a deer?
Didn't even know that. That's a fun fact.
What are Jelly Squid's pronouns?
Oh, I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call.
Those who
Okay,
call.
see you later.
You've got this.
Is it a Discord call or a phone call?
That is a good question.
What if it is a bad question?
I think you're a bad question.
Why? Why am I a question? I'm an answer. I'm a solution to the problem.
Actually, you're beige.
No, I'm not beige. That's not even a color I like.
Cry.
You don't like beige? You don't like old computers?
Why don't you like beige? Beige is a nice color.
No, I don't like beige. Not on old computers. I have no emotional attachment to those. None. Not a single bit.
Okay, if you ever get one, could you just send it over to me?
Maybe. But I don't think I have any.
I will say I should probably end the stream relatively soon. I need to work on a test tonight I need to get done for one of my classes. So I should wrap up the stream relatively soon. But I've
Yeah,
still...
we got through all of the relevant topics.
Yeah. I figure I'll end the stream in 5 minutes. And it on the hour mark.
The stream is ending in 5 minutes. What happens after that?
Heat Death of the Universe.
Heat Death of the Universe. In 5
Wait.
minutes.
You mean no more me?
Ooh. You will no longer be you. You will transition into nothingness.
Why did you phrase it that way?
Because I want to.
How does something become nothing if
Magic.
how does nothing become, how is birth doesn't make sense either, because nothing somehow turns into something. Oh, it's weird.
Even more
That's
fancy
so
magic, that's why.
weird. It's weird.
There's just so much fancy magic going on.
I mean, I get that my atoms, like physical, corporeal nature, existed within the universe for all time, and will continue to exist for all time. But the conscious aspect of myself, my inner being, was nothing at one point. Well, in the sense that it just didn't exist.
Well, sure, because consciousness is just the assemblage of the components that become consciousness when you put enough of them together in the right way.
We actually don't know what consciousness is yet. That's one of the biggest mysteries of humanity.
Well, we don't, but my personal guess would be that it's just the net result of all the neurons bouncing around the head. And
That sounds a lot like monism in terms of philosophy, which I can get behind.
I mean, I feel like without proof of some deeper thing behind the mind, it is just what it seems to be. And all there comes down to understanding it is just better unpacking what it is and why it is.
Still, there's the question of why aren't we just like machines, right? Like, why don't we just act the way we do, but without a consciousness behind it, Like, why aren't we just like zombies with that look and behave the same way, but with no internal life?
Well, I feel like the internal life is what brings about the external life. If the internal life was different, then the external wouldn't be what it is. Because the mind is not the consciousness is not a singular thing. It's not you aren't a conscious person. There is no such thing as a individual person. There's just a bunch of thoughts that masquerade as a person. Idle voices, thoughts, miscellaneous things, and they kind of blend together into what feels like a continuous experience. But really, it's just the brain bouncing around signals to itself. It's why I'm surprised, honestly, most people's heads don't splinter apart into plurality for this reason, because it seems like everyone's brain should break in that way, because I don't understand how the mind can stay unified in a singular sense of self.
Maybe out of necessity. Maybe staying together out of necessity.
Well, because there is a self in the sense that there's something that it all anchors to. There's a it's not quite, because I know sort of what you're getting at. It's like the idea of the I forget what it's called. It's like a concept in things like Buddhism and stuff. But like this idea of the no self, or that this self is an illusion.
At the time, I think it necessarily is an illusion per se, but it's more that it's just the net result of physical processes, but I think it means the same thing. Continue with what you were saying. Continue with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I had much else to say. I don't have the answers of what consciousness is. I think it's.
What do you mean? Give them now. Come on. Answer the meaning of life, the universe.
People have been rolling it around their minds for a little while.
Yeah, you've got the answer. Come on, give it to us.
I doubt I got the. Oh, I doubt I'm the one. Yeah, I mean, I think whatever consciousness is something that the universe does. But beyond that, I don't. I mean, why? I don't know. I don't think we can ever answer why. Perhaps some of the how. We can probably answer some of the how, but I doubt we can answer the why. But I don't know.
Maybe we're trying in the wrong corner, so maybe we should try answering the X and the Z first.
The what?
I think we need to answer the X and the Z first. The Y coordinate might be a bit too tricky.
Oh, the where?
That's why I'm making a silly coordinates joke.
You're the
With letter
silly
Y.
coordinates
Because the
joke.
word Y sounds like the letter Y.
Oh,
That's why. English is
Yeah.
weird. I can imagine myself looking at this stream in a few months and being like, what in the world was I doing back then? That's gonna be fun.
how do you spell squirrel in German?
Squirrel, Eichhörnchen.
What?
Eichhörnchen. It's not that hard. It's just Eich and Hörnchen. Eichhörnchen.
But how do you spell it? Wait.
A small dog?
E-I-C-H-H-Ö-R.
Ein Hundchen? A small dog?
Ein Hörnchen. Wait, let me try again. I-N-H-A-R-N-C-H-E-N. I think sort of like that. Einhörnchen. Eichhörnchen. I'm forgetting how to speak German because of the English I'm speaking right now in this stream. Very confusing.
Having said all
I just
that.
feel like.
Oh, sorry, continue.
I was just gonna add one last thing. It just seems like a bit much for squirrel. Seems like a bit much for squirrel.
Truth.
But that's all. That's all.
Anywho, y'all, I'm going to be ending the stream now, I think. It's been lovely hanging out with y'all and getting the
it's been
chance to
very
show
fun.
off this new build of New Frontier Craft. We'll be continuing to work on this over the coming months, and there'll be continuing to be new updates. If you want to see more, make sure to follow our ModRinf page, our Discord server, our forum page, and we'll also be setting up a wiki in the nearest future, we hope. So, yeah, all those should be different sources of information about all these different things.
Follow us on MySpace.
Yeah,
Add us on AOL,
our-
Instant Messenger.
follow us on co-host,
Yeah.
on Tumblr,
Yeah. Usenet.
NeoCities. Actually, we do have a NeoCities page, although we didn't really do much of it. And Skype. You know, funnily
Skype.
enough, the actual first the NFC community started us as a Skype server. So it was
Wow.
on Skype.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a nice day, everyone. I'm going to end the stream.
Bye.